Late this afternoon, migrants started arriving at St. Johnville Academy just as a judge ruled the city could not use the old school as a shelter. About 30 migrants are now refusing to leave, left in limbo with nowhere else to go as the city appeals the judge's decision.
We begin this afternoon with the migrant crisis in New York City hitting a new boiling point. For days now, we've seen many forced to sleep on the sidewalk outside the intake center at the Roosevelt Hotel in Midtown.
What these scumbags want to happen is for us to disperse. And what they're scared shit of is this getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Alright, so before we start this video, I do want to put out a disclaimer because what we are going to discuss today will be a sensitive topic. So, viewers' discretion is advised. I want it to be known that though I do not associate with any political party by any means, I do not hold out hatred for a specific party due to certain policies or what they may incorporate into their majority perspective as of currently. So, with that being said, I do ask for respect as I do conduct the discussion that we are having today. Thank you in advance, and let us begin. New York City, NYC. We are having a issue that we need to discuss, eh? So, specifically Mayor Eric Adams, Governor Kathy Hochul. Very questionable decisions have been made under your administrative director. Not putting aside, but just really focusing on the focal point of today's video, the migrant issue that we have in New York. We're gonna address the other things of that administration. Right now, I feel like taking immediate action to discuss this topic, which is currently popular in the news as well, is a very important step into establishing our discussions on policies, as well as political nature in general. So, with the current migrant status, and what has been the talk of the town, if you want to say, so there's a huge frenzy that's actively been going on that stems from the hundreds of thousands of migrants that are coming over to New York. Now, migration is not bad. It's not bad. You get to build a diverse environment which people will actually want to inhabit because they see all this diversity being set forth. There's a lot of benefits towards migration, you know what I mean, as far as onlookers. Now, those who are incoming, better conditions depending on where you originated at, and things of that nature. So the possibilities of positivity, they pretty much reside right there. Then when we look at the negative side, bringing in migrants who will be taking up opportunities that are present for the people who are already staying here. In terms of the people who originated here, rather than the migrants, we already were struggling with the economy in the sense of inflation, and you know the turnout from that. A lot of jobs aren't hiring, or if they are hiring, they aren't typically hiring in mass. It really feels like there's more people being let go rather than people being hired nowadays, and that says something, you know, it really does say something. And with a lot of people struggling out here, not just the working class, but people below the working class, when we talk about the homeless and people who are just really the bottom of the barrel just trying to scrape by, what about the opportunities for them? Now, this is a great argument right here. I'm going back and forth, you know what I mean? It's a great argument, but then on that other end, we live in a capitalistic society. And with that being stated, opportunities come and go. There will always be the people who are on top versus the people who are on the bottom, and then you have the people in the middle who could pretty much vary between both. But on the other hand, it's more so, are you trying to worsen an ongoing problem? Are you trying to create more opportunities? What are you doing actively to really strengthen the economy? And so taking that into consideration, talking about the policies that are currently ongoing. Now, what I don't agree with, right? And it's not so much in a selfish sense, it's more so in a logical stance, and it's also what detriment is it having towards us, the people who are currently here or who have been here. Put it in perspective like this, right? Let's say right here, this one right here, these two people originated here, right? And then we're gonna bring this one right here, and this one comes over here, and you would think that they both get equal opportunities. Let's say they're around the same age group, they're around the same financial status per se, but when it comes to these two groups, or rather these three individuals, let's say that, when it comes to these three individuals, they don't all get the same exact opportunities. Let's say these three are poor, right? All of them poor financial status, just because we want to put it in a realistic scenario. And you know how expensive things are over here. Let's keep it a buck. So let's say these three are all poor, right? This one coming in poor, these two already established poor. Now the people who are running things over here are deciding to get this one right here and put them in housing and other benefits that we haven't mentioned yet, but put them in housing, while these two, who are two separate individuals, are struggling to pay whatever bills or utilities or whatever in general on a monthly basis, yearly basis, etc., etc. So with that being said, that brings these two lower and this one up. Because remember, resources still cost. They still cost. It's not free. It is not free. So they're using resources to keep this one right here in stable condition, while these two are just going lower and lower and lower and lower until they're out the picture and more than likely going to end up homeless. And I say this to say, there's not an issue with migrating over here. This is not, as a matter of fact, this is not a migrant issue, right? Because there's people who come and go to New York all the time. Now, are we seeing an increase? Yes, because our current politicians in charge are the ones who are overseeing that. And with it being regulated, that they want to establish them in different hubs or different centers that are actually using up resources that can be used for other means, or in general, not utilized in a sense of financial cost. And I may be a little bit all over with the message, it's getting a little bit late, but just think about how far deep New York is in debt. Think about it. I'll probably post it up somewhere around here. Think about how deep New York is within its depth. Now, with that being said, do we need to increase that debt? Really? You know what? No. As a matter of fact, as the whole entire United States, because this is not just a New York problem. This is an issue going on in Florida, I believe Texas as well. Do we need to voluntarily increase the debt in these areas, or as a whole entire country? I do not think so. It wouldn't be a logical thing to increase, because you're destroying the economy. You're destroying the economy in which we operate in. And that's where we have a destruction of society spanning downward from. Now, there's a lot of results that are occurring from this frenzy. I mean, over in Staten Island, I'll put the story up somewhere around it. Over in Staten Island, you have a whole bunch of protests that are going on currently against these regulations. And the means that it's going to is, it's more than likely going to end up becoming more and more violent. It more than likely is. So a plan needs to be devised in which resources are not going to be used at the current expense of the citizens. They shouldn't be. That's illogical. Why are you doing that? On top of that, if there's a program or initiative process that you would like migrants to be involved in, as far as like, hey, when you first come here, have this or that, make it a publicly known project. Something of the nature of not like be ready, but you know what I mean? You know where I'm coming from? It's really something that you would have to do some sincere thinking about when it comes to this topic. But nevertheless, I hope that this coverage and somewhat showing my opinion or showing different sides of the table could maybe bring things together. You know, there should be a plan set in place for migrants in general, not in the sense that you can't just come in freely. I mean, you can. When it comes to utilizing resources at the detriment of the citizens, that's where the problem is, and that's where the line should be drawn. So, thank you for watching. I hope this overview pretty much opens some perspectives and I hope that in the comment section it will be a nice, relaxed debating environment.